Hi guys. All right, I'm going to go over today's lessons. This is the fourth. We're here in the red box for Monday. So we started today with our new unit in math on division. And so we went to page 343. Let me get out my book here. So in 343, we've got John, and John is building a backyard pizza oven with an arc opening, and he's going to use 72 bricks. And each time he's going to place 6 bricks at a time to build his oven. So if he arranges the bricks into piles of 6, we want to know how many piles he has. So we're going to use repeated subtraction to show this. And repeated subtraction is the opposite of repeated addition. So with repeated addition, we use that to say that that's the same as multiplication. So here we're kind of thinking the opposite with repeated subtraction is the same as division. So you're taking that total, that 72 bricks, that the total number of bricks, and we're going to pull out 6 at a time. So picture your total, all those 72. I'm going to grab 6, and then I'm going to grab another 6, and another 6, and another 6, and another 6, till I can't grab any more groups of 6. And so students were asked to have some beans for today's class, and this is what it looks like. So we took our we took our total of 72, and we made groups of 6. So here's mine. Pull them down a little bit so you can see. So each one of them has 6 beans in it, so we've got groups of 6. And if I were to count each bean individually, I would have 72 total. And so now, in order to figure out how many piles he was able to make, I just need to count them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I've got 12 piles. So I'm going to go ahead and move these over and put these back up here. And so what that means is that 72 divided by 6 is 12. And so then we saw what that looked like on paper. So here we started off with our 72, that was our total, and then we removed those groups of 6. So we took 72, we subtracted 6, we still had an amount in our total, so we kept taking away groups of 6, taking away groups of 6, taking away all the way till we got to 0. Then we went back and we said, okay, every time that we took away a group of 6, we're going to circle it. And then we're going to count them. So that was 1 time, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So there were 12 groups that we were able to take away. So 72 divided by 6 is 12. So then, after we did that problem, students went to here. And today we were doing the odd problems. So 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and 11. So here, 65 divided by 5, this larger number is your total. The second number is going to be how many is in your group. And then, so I'm going to take 65 beans if I'm going to use my beans. Or you could do it like we did here with the notebook, to where you would start with that 65. And each time you're subtracting 5, and you're going to see how many groups of 5 you could pull out from there. Now, some of these, like 79 divided by 5, this is not going to come out evenly. And let me show you what that means. So here, let me get a marker. All right, so here, let's take a smaller number. Let me put this under here so it doesn't bleed through. All right, so let's look at, let me just box this off so I know this is separate over here. All right, so let's take 7. So let's say I have 7 beans. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And let's say that I want to put these beans into groups of 2. So here, I can circle groups of 2. So here's one group. Here's another group. Here's another group. And with this last bean, or this last whatever it might be, I don't have another one to circle, so I can't make a group of 2. So here I started off with 7, and I was dividing by 2, but my answer is not going to be even. So the way that I write this is I put that there are 3 groups with 1 remainder left over. So you put 3, remainder 1. Okay, so there were 3 groups that you were able to make evenly. Okay, they each had 2, 2, and 2, but there was 1 remainder left over. So 3, remainder 1. All right, so with that 70, I forget what it was, 79, 5 is not going to go into that equally. So you're going to have some remainders left over. So be on the lookout. There were a few that were like that. All right, so let me put math away. All right, so after math, okay, so you did the odd numbers. Those odd numbers, they go here. So 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11. Put your number there. Ignore what I said about the letter. This one you actually need the number. So ignore what I said. That'll be for later days. So put your answers there, and then you can exit out of that. Then it says to make sure that you're doing eSpark for the math section. In small group today, I worked with groups A and B we actually did just the first 2 questions. And so let me change this. We'll do 3 to 5, and then 6 to 8. All right, so we did the first 2 questions with those groups there. All right, on this next one for reading, we were in Seesaw. And for Seesaw, under activities, we went to the informational text, and we watched, or we talked about some Legos. And so the informational text today, we were looking at problem and solution. So we were talking about a problem, and we've talked about this in science as well. So where'd it go? There it is. So we were making some connections with what we learned about in science with renewable and non-renewable resources. And Legos we know are made with plastic. And so plastic is used plastic is used or is made. Oh, I can't talk. Plastic is made using non-renewable resources. And so we know that that's not good for the environment and that those will eventually run out. We need to conserve them. And so the company, the Lego company, is doing things to make sure that they're being environmentally friendly. They don't want to just take. They want to make sure that they're giving back as well and not doing more harm than good. So we watched this video here, and this is about how they wanted to balance out, and they actually went above it, and so they're now generating a lot of energy to power homes with these wind farms. So there's a video here to watch about some things that they're doing. And then we read this article about how they're trying, they want to make sure that the Lego bricks are not just being thrown in the trash. Like if you've outgrown Legos, you don't want to play with Legos anymore, or you're tired of them and want new stuff or whatever, that you don't just throw them in the trash, because what happens is right here, this part that's highlighted, the plastic doesn't actually disintegrate. Like it doesn't go away. It just keeps getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. And what happens, it's actually called microplastics. And these microplastics get into our water, and they're harming wildlife, and it's all throughout the water. And so people now are studying the effects of that. So here you've got this video here that talks about microplastics, and it's talking about, okay, what happens when we've got all this in the water and fish are eating it, smaller fish are eating it, and then bigger fish are eating those smaller fish, and then we turn around and eat those trophy fish and stuff like that. What are the implications of that? What's happening? Are there going to be long-term effects of that, and so on. So we watched that, and then so we talked about the problem here. So the problem with Legos, we said, is that they're using plastics that's made with the non-renewable resources. And so we put some steps here that they're taking to help solve that, and then solutions. And then there's a box over here for you to respond with, what do you think? So what's your opinion? Do you think Lego is taking the right steps to be environmentally friendly? And then make sure if you say yes, okay, well, why? If you say no, why not? And then is there something else that you think that they should be doing? So should they be doing more? Are they doing too much? Is their whole game plan, like, do you think they should completely scratch it and come up with something new? What are your thoughts? So jot those down in this box here. And then this one will be for tomorrow. All right, so then you have down below it, you have week 18, read aloud and independent activities. So this is your independent work for the week. Again, this is for the week, so it's not due till Friday. So you need to decide how you're going to divide this up. So this is called Dawn of the Donut. And so this goes along with cause and effect, which we'll be talking about later in the week. And we've talked about it several times in previous weeks as well. Cause, something happens. Effect, what's going to happen after that. So as you're reading, you're looking for those causes and then the things that follow. And you're going to put those here. Then the part where you're reading, make sure you're recording. I want to hear you reading the story. So each page that says that needs its own recording. Okay, so that stops there. And then you've got some sentences about the story that are missing commas. They're practicing when we list things and things like that. You need commas in between. And then there's some comprehension questions at the end. So again, that's 13 pages. You've got 5 days. So decide how you're going to split up that. Then for a small group, we started reading The Miraculous Journey of Edward Tulane, and we read chapters 1 and 2, and we did some comparing and contrasting with group B and C. And then for eSpark today, make sure you're clicking on eSpark and doing a little bit for math and a little bit for reading. And then for writing today, get my notebook. Writing today, we got introduced to Awubis. So if you click this link, this underline, there's a video that we watched here, so make sure you watch that. And then we took some notes in our notebook. So Awubis, let me fix this here so it's not all crazy. All right, so we put that as our title, Awubis. So it's 3 A's, 2 W's, a U, 2 B's, an I, and an S, Awubis. So Awubis stands for after, although, as, when, while, until, because, before, if, since. So here, the video talks about what all this means. So make sure you watch that first before you take down the notes, and then it'll make more sense. But you can start off, you can have a sentence, and you can have an opening to that sentence that uses one of these words. Okay? So your opener is not necessarily a complete sentence. It's just some information at the beginning, like think opener. It's opening, the idea of whatever you're talking about. So we're going to put a comma after it, and then we're going to finish off our sentence. Okay? So you could say, after I got home from the store, comma, I went to bed. I went to bed is a sentence. After I got home from the store is not a sentence. It's not a complete thought. It's just opening, to this idea of what I'm sharing with you. It's not complete. So we put a comma after it. So after I got home from the store, comma, and then the actual sentence part, the complete sentence, I went to bed. That is how we put piece all those parts together. So opener, whatever you're saying here with the opener, the comma, and the sentence. So starting on Wednesday, we'll look at some more examples and we'll start actually creating some of our own sentences. But make sure you have this down. If you're using one of these at the very beginning of your sentence, you're going to need a comma. So that's the big thing that we're going to, the big rule that we're going to practice. So make sure you have that in your notebook. Then we went to week 18 and we went to the Flipgrid activity called Writing Tell Me About Your Holiday. So you can click this link here, and when you click the link, it's not going to work for mine, but you have to click Join with Google. And then there's a part on there where you can add your response and anything that you want to share with the class. So some people shared some gifts that they got. Some people shared some books that they got and read. Some people shared places and people that they went to go visit. So whatever you want to share, feel free to share. And then also, some of you guys shared, some of you made a New Year's resolution and told me what you did. Lots of people saw fireworks and things like that, so that was fun to hear about. And then make sure after you respond that you go check out your classmates, and you can respond and leave a comment and talk with them on there as well. So again, make sure you click that Join with Google to add your response. Then you can turn that in when you're done. Then on our agenda, we looked at what is weather. So we opened up this PowerPoint here, and these are just all different types of images, and all of them have different weather, different types of weather that they're showing. So you can scroll through this and look at all the different types of weather. And then in our notebook, we talked about, let me get that out. Where did I put it? Oh, here it is. I buried it. All right, so we talked about the difference between weather and climate. So let me share this. All right, so weather, ignore the red words. I'll talk about those in a second. I kind of just threw those in where they fit. Weather is the condition of the atmosphere at a particular time and place. So right now, if I open my door, I could tell you what the weather is. Versus climate is a weather condition it's the average weather conditions of a particular region. Okay, so it's not just the here and now, it's over a period of time. Weather is short term. Like I just said, climate is talking about a longer period of time. Weather is, we're talking about like day to day type stuff. The weather changes day to day. One day it's raining, the next day it's sunny. But the climate here, again, we're talking about that long period of time. So like if we think about San Antonio's climate, just because it snowed maybe like one day 3 years ago or whatever it was, doesn't mean that we have a climate that is cold and snowy. It's that period over time. So over time, we are a very warm climate, we're very hot, things like that. So looking over, a long period of time, what's the average weather like there? So they both have to do with weather conditions, talking about temperature, precipitation. And then these red here are some keywords that kind of signal, okay, I'm talking about weather versus climate. So current, tomorrow, cloudy, sunny, today, foggy. Those things are signaling that I'm talking about weather versus climate. Per year, annual, always, seasons, typical. those things are signaling climate. So, like, typically, San Antonio's climate is very warm and hot. So make sure you have each of that, and we titled it Weather versus Climate. Okay. Then for social studies, we worked with week 18 Monday's pages. So if you go to Google Classroom, go all the way down to week 18 social studies, click here. Monday was the first 2 pages. So the article is here. We clicked on that and listened to that. And this is a family's perspective of what happened. And so click there, and then you've got questions 1. Papa told the family they had to leave as soon as possible because. So why did they have to hurry up and leave? Question 2. The reader knows that the Smith family left their home quickly because. And then one similarity between Maddie and her mother is that they both do what? So once you finish that, you can exit out of that. And then that was it for today. So today was short and sweet due to our half-day dismissal. And then make sure you check out the Seesaw information that I'm sending for map testing tomorrow. So tomorrow will be asynchronous. I sent out just now before I made this, I sent out this information. So there's the website here. Make sure that you're clicking that website to make sure it opens for you on your home computer, school computer, whatever you're using. Make sure you read this note here that I put. It's very important that you're doing this test by yourself. This is showing us kind of how you're progressing. So if you were on a 3rd grade math level and all of a sudden you're on, doing college algebra because your parent did it for you, I'm going to be like, oh, let's give this student some, more challenging work. I'm obviously not challenging them enough. And so if you don't want, assignments on college level or high school level, please make sure you're doing your own work and that you are showing what you know. I am not your parents' teacher. I am your teacher. So make sure that you are the one that's doing the work and the thinking, and they should not be having any part of this test. They should not be near you when you should be by yourself when you're testing alone, in a quiet spot, not sitting at a kitchen table that's got people walking by. You need a quiet area to focus, and make sure that you're really showing what you know. You've had months since we first took this test. You've had months and months of math lessons, so there should be definite growth from the first time you took the test. Okay, we did a lot more with fractions. We did a whole lot more. You learned with decimals and multiplication, things like that. So your math score from last time should be lower. This score should be higher. If it's not higher, you are probably going to have to do the whole thing over. There is no reason that you should not show growth. So please make sure that you are taking your time. You are working out your problems on your paper or your whiteboard, whatever you have, and make sure you're really showing your best work, not a calculator's work, whatever's coming, from your head. All right, so then I have this bottom link down here, which is for tomorrow's lesson. So if you click on this, this YouTube video goes over the lessons for tomorrow. So you still have classwork. So whatever your map schedule is, if you're testing with me in the morning, you'll test first. Then you can take a little break and then come watch this. You've got lessons for each of the 5 subjects, so make sure you watch that. They're shortened since you're testing, but you still have things to do. And then same thing for my boys that are testing at 11:30. You will wake up, do your activities, and then do your testing at 11:30. So let me know if you guys have any questions. Hopefully everything is explained there. But again, please don't hesitate if you have questions and need me to clarify something. All right, thanks guys.